Well, very excited to talk to you. The first question I have is, uh, what was the process of getting your voice back for Death? Did you remember it? Did you have to rewatch some stuff? I mean, is it always in the chamber? Like, what happened with that?
I spent, first of all, hi, Derek. Um,
Hello.
I love the phone booth.
We have
Um,
some fun here.
yeah, well, um, I watched the first two movies before we did the third one. I had to remind myself of, I wanted to like submerge myself and try to remember what I was doing. But as soon as I put the robes on and the boots and the 3 hours of makeup, and I started doing this Czechoslovakian accent, it just came, the guy just came back. He was just, it was like he'd been in my pocket for 30 years. And, I finally I finally let him out to play and he just went nuts. Um, it was sort of like I uncorked it and all of it, there was
Well,
Grim Reaper on the ceiling.
for sure. And you know what? That's one of the things that kind of comes up with Grim Reaper too. I mean, can you kind of tell us where we find a death in this time and place for Bill and Ted Face Music?
Well, it hasn't been a, he had joined the Wild Stallions at the end of Bogus Journey, but he's since gone off on his own solo career, and it hasn't gone as well as he might have liked. Um, and he he's he's sort of fallen on hard times in a way. But the boys want to get the band back together. So um, I think that I don't know how much I can tell you without spoiling the
No, no,
movie for you.
I
But
understand.
that's kind of the, you know, he hasn't. It's been a really hard 30 years or whatever since Bogus for
For sure.
him, and for the boys. It doesn't look to me like they're doing as well as they might be.
Did you ever think that you'd be hearing the words excellent and maybe hearing a sound like this once again?
Excellent.
No, I didn't. I didn't know. I mean, there's been talk about doing a third one since the second one landed, but it was just talk. And after the first decade went by, and then the second decade went by, I'm like, yeah, well, whatever. This isn't. And I'm not at all sure this is going to happen. But then Ed Solomon, one of the writers, called me and said, "I'm writing a third one. Are you interested in playing the Reaper again?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." So they, when he and they kind of pick up where they sort of pick up where they left off, which is great. I love the idea that it's a trilogy now, and the story has a kind of a beginning and a middle and an end.
For sure. Well, I guess as a wrap up here, there's only one last thing. If you could
What's
help me
that?
finish this line, you might be a king or a little street sweeper.
But sooner or later, you dance with the Reaper. Get down with your bad self.
I thank you so very much. I hope you have a fantastic day. Pleasure. Bye bye.
Take care.